want to go on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus David Hennigar, 23740. And appearance for the people, please.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Edward Zelenak for the defendant. He's present in the box, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And your name, sir?
David Hennigar.
Okay, well, I'm actually a little surprised to see you back. Well, and we have another pending case we're waiting for the warrant back on too, so. All right, so today's the date for the PCC on this matter. And counsel?
Your Honor, I believe we'll waive whatever rule is appropriate because they change daily and ask you to continue the PCC until next Thursday, wherein Mr. Hennigar will be sentenced on the misdemeanor plea from approximately a month ago. And by that time, if there are new charges, they should be forthcoming, and perhaps actually the same date. It would make a lot of sense to do that. And
Did you say a month? In a month?
it was about a month ago that he pled on the misdemeanor charges, and he's up for, no, Mr. Hennigar wants to get out of his life. He's 50 years old. This is nonsense. It all happened when he turned 50. It's a hell of a way to celebrate his birthday.
Well, and what's well, okay, here's what the court's going to the court's going to indicate that any time is waived, PCC's held. We're going to adjourn this to April 27th. And we'll do this at 9:30 a.m. That way we can do all three. This one,
I'll be here at 8.
if the warrant comes back, then we'll have the PCC on that one and then the sentencing.
Well, we'll be here at 8:30.
Well, okay, so.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to hear 8:30.
Yeah, so bond, so you, and you posted a bond, sir, on this matter. $1,000 bond, or maybe your mom did, I don't know.
I did, Your Honor.
What's that?
I did, Your Honor.
And one of the conditions was no alcohol, no drugs unless prescribed, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what are you currently in custody for, sir?
Drugs, Your Honor.
So if you were to test today, sir, what would be detected in your system?
Crack cocaine, Your Honor.
So here's what the court's going to do, counsel. The court's going to revoke your client's bond. So number one, that was a condition of your bond on your first felony case, which was then reduced to a misdemeanor. That was a condition of your bond in this matter. And now you're in custody for a third time for possession. And let me just see something else too.
I don't know what the new allegations are yet, Your Honor, because nothing's come back.
Well, isn't there a condition of no contact with Ms. Bolchak also on your case that you're set to be sentenced for next week?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, the police report from the April 13th offense date would suggest that you and Ms. Bolchak were in the same vehicle, which would be another direct violation of this court's bond condition. And I very distinctly remember you indicating that you were done with Ms. Bolchak.
I was getting my stuff, Your Honor. That was all I was doing that day.
I think that your attorney is going to tell you to stop
Don't
talking
say
because,
anything else.
quite frankly, sir, your credibility with this court is shot. Done. I don't believe what you say. So the court's revoking your bond. Great. We can readdress it next week, but as of now, your bond is revoked. The conditions will continue, but
Maybe rethink the time next. I mean, rethink the time next week. I'd like to have them written out to be here. I can't conduct it's nonsense of someone sitting in a cell, and I know that puts the people at great expense. Mr. Henniger should be here to address all of those issues, because I think there's an underlying psychiatric issue that needs to be addressed with the Veterans Administration, and I would further convey that irrespective of, and I did have a conversation with the court about reducing the bond conditions, when your affairs of your heart get mixed with narcotics, there's never a good end. And this man who's led an exemplary life until the age of 50, a veteran, business owner, to suddenly hook up with some woman to get in trouble, fighting dust twice in one guy. Whether we prove that? And it was with the same gal in the same truck. Police now have 2 of his vehicles. They're going to have used car lot for Mr. Henniger if we don't get this thing worked out. But he's got a ton of problems, much heavier than a small amount of crack cocaine and addiction, and a woman he can't get out of his mind or heart. So I may have said too much, but I'd like to have him here in person, and we'll come back at 10:30, whatever time, if you can rid him out, if the county can follow your orders. I know sometimes that's rough.
Yeah, I'll indicate that council requests the probable cause conference in person. You have that right?
Thank you.
Fine. Yeah, we'll do that.
And we've got a whole bunch of stuff to address next week, but maybe I can get Mr. Henniger out of his straight path. You understand, Mr. Henniger, you're gonna be a guest of the county for a week, and you fell into that situation. There's nothing I can do to extricate you. I talked to another lawyer, but it's the best I'm gonna do here today, Mr. Henniger. Lucky she didn't set a high cash bond of $500,000, because that'd be much more. You've already thrown a lot of good money after bad with Miss Polchak. Judge, I'm not gonna say anything else. I've known Mr. Henniger and his family all of his life, and it's hard to put my heart out on the line for him, a reputation, when he ends up with the same gal twice and ends up in the same mess.
Yeah. So, we'll probably be seeing you later this afternoon on the other matter. I presume that's when we'll get it back, but
I'll be back here.
okay, we'll see you back next week. Well, later this afternoon, but in this case, we'll see you next week.
We bring them back in the court, the arraignment, we'll come back, Judge. I try to do this.
Typically, they do it in there, but that's fine. We can bring them.
Thank you. I'll be back, Mr. Henniger.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we are on the record still in the matter of the state of Michigan versus David Henniger. 23810. All right, and Detective Sergeant Grote, your name for the record, please. All right, thank you. Okay, and please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may proceed on the warrant.
On Wednesday, April 19, 2023, approximately 2:56 a.m., Officers Lefkis and Officer Cox were a 2-man car patrolling area of northbound Fort Avenue in the city of Wyandotte. Officers observed a white Dodge Ram 2500 series pickup truck driving northbound Fort, crossing Fort Avenue. The truck had a defective taillight. Officers attempted to stop the truck as it entered the turnaround to go back south on 4th Street. The vehicle took an abnormal amount of time to pull over and finally pulled over. As officers approached the vehicle, they recognized the driver to be the defendant, Mr. Henniger, from several prior contacts and arrests. Officers inquired about any narcotics inside the vehicle, and Mr. Henniger stated he does not have any narcotics inside the vehicle, but he left a pipe at home.
If you need to talk to your client, do it out in the lobby.
Officer asked for consent to search the vehicle, and Henniger agreed to search his person, but not the vehicle. Officer asked Mr. Henniger to exit the vehicle while Officer Cox returned to the patrol vehicle and retrieved his partner, K9 Jax. Officer Cox did a free air sniff around the exterior of the vehicle, and K9 Jax indicated the presence of narcotic odor on the front driver's side door. During the search of the vehicle, Officer Cox located several small crack rocks scattered throughout the center console. Some of the crack rocks were wet and appeared to be that Henniger used wet wipes to try to hide or dispose of them. Officer Stathkis located a cell phone bag between the driver's seat and center console that contained a white rock substance that was later field tested positive to be crack cocaine. It should also be noted that Mr. Henniger had 2 prior drug arrests in the city of Wyandotte in the last month by the same officers. Arrested him April 13, 2023, and a different officer arrested Mr. Henniger March 1st of 2023. I believe the weight of the narcotics this time is 5 grams.
All right, thank you. Upon examination of pleading witness, I find that the offense charge was committed. There's probable cause that the defendant committed the offense. And I'm gonna have you just, that's right as well. Okay, and, Mr. Zelnok.
We're Zelenak for the defendant. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Well, good afternoon, just watching this roll
It
over.
sure is afternoon. Okay, Mr. Hennigar, your name, please.
David Henniger.
Okay,
No need to read, we just heard everything. You're waiving the reading, you ask the court to stand mute, enter a plea not guilty. Schedule a probable cause conference, and as irresponsible as it may be, we have a duty to request to address bond.
all right, the court's going to waive the formal reading. Sir, I'm going to read you your rights, even though I'm sure you're very familiar with those now. There's been 3 times in the last month or so that you've now been in front of this court, but in any event, you have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint to represent you. In fact, you have your retained counsel here, and you've been able to speak with your retained counsel, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. Also, the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
The court's entering a plea of not guilty, and you began scheduling this matter for probable cause conference on April 27th. I believe we set those at 9:30 a.m., correct?
Yes, Your Honor, we're gonna ask if he's still in custody, because unless you change your mind, to have him written out to be here in person.
Please, Your Honor.
Okay, in person. Okay, ask your bond counsel.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna change your mind, but if you would.
You can make the effort, go right ahead.
Mr. Henniger has a business in town. I'm gonna make light of the stories before. You know, he runs a business, his contracts with municipalities, with other communities, and he's got work starting this weekend. He needs the opportunity to contact someone to take care and take control. I think there are other underlying issues in court can tell small, although little amount of crack cocaine and alternates. It's almost the same amount and always the same woman to blame. And while this may have markings of a great song, it doesn't bode well. Mr. Henniger to get to this point. Ask you to reconsider the remand and I understand there's a bond violation. So I'm asking for a lot, but also to not make plans that set a substantial cash bond around being released whenever you want to set up.
Can I say something?
Well, you can, but if you say anything about either the girlfriend or the crack or anything else, you're in trouble.
Your Honor, this is a complete wake up call. And I did take it kind of lately, and I don't want to lose my company and my business, and it would be my fault. I understand that.
That's probably enough. You don't release complete Mark Medical. He's been sweating profusely here. I don't think it's because of like the withdrawal. It might be something else has been clutching this side. I don't think that's your heart.
Detective Sergeant, Mr. Bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Henniger is a dangerous society. He's out here using narcotics, driving his car. This is the 3rd time in a month. I understand you remanded him on the last case. We'll ask for 10,000 cash on this one.
All right, well, here's what the court's going to do. The court, you are presumed innocent, sir, until proven guilty. However, you have now pled guilty on one misdemeanor that was reduced from a felony. You were charged with another felony possession, and now you have this one. Well, after you posted the bond on the other one, I think it was within a week. Yeah, because you had your arraignment last week, I believe last Friday, I think it was, on the 14th of April. And then you were in the custody of the Wyandotte Police Department as of yesterday. So that was definitely within a week. And so now you've forfeited $1,000 on that case. And sir, I understand that you have a business and that you have a lot at stake there, but the court also knows that the public has a lot at stake as well. And for your own safety and the safety of the public, this court's going to indicate a $30,000 cash bond. You may certainly give any sort of information to Mr. Zelnok to contact somebody that you need to contact for your job or whatever it may be over the weekend, but you're not to be post bond. You're not to possess and consume the alcohol or drugs, which that doesn't seem to be something that you're able to follow at this point, but that is what it is. You may have had a wake up call now, sir, but the court's going to make sure you're staying awake.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you back next Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.